It's June 2nd, and I'm on my way to the first of what will be a series of auditions for the Look For Me, I Will Find You motion picture series. We're working on trying to get actors for the trailer, which we're hoping to film sometime in the next couple of months in order to put our package together necessary to sell the project to people that could produce it slash invest in it. The package that we're going to put together will include the books, the 4 books, a script based upon those books, a budget, and a trailer. Now, this is not your typical trailer that you would find when you go to the movie theater. This is going to be longer, for some reason I'm thinking 15-20 minutes. Now that's really a long trailer. Now that'll be the first cut, and then we'll cut it down to, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 minutes, something like that. The idea that we want to tell the story without giving away the plot is what's dancing around in my head. That's the idea. We need to do it in an exciting way with a lot of exciting backgrounds and different actors. This is so that we can approach people that might be interested in the project, and this is a way of clinching them, where I want their reaction to be after they see this thing. I want them to say, man, I want to make that movie. I want to see that movie. So that's our goal. Obviously, we're doing it on a low budget, which means we're going to have to build backgrounds out of styrofoam, painted styrofoam. We're going to have to use as many actual sets that we can, things that we can find. Now, what's interesting today in getting ready for these auditions, I actually had 523 emails between me and potential actors over the last, I think I first started doing this in February. Now, I didn't work solid the whole time, obviously. The last couple of weeks has been more and more intense as we get closer to the date. Once we picked the date, it got more intense, but I mean, there's been actors who have come to us wanting to be part of this, and some, just obviously are not going to work out, so I've had to turn them down. And that's because they don't look right, or you can tell from the material that they send that they don't have the skill level that I'm looking for. And I'm grateful to each and every one of them who's applied, because I know it's a tough business. And so we kind of went through a first cut based upon what was supplied via email, and then I went and looked at people a little more carefully who I thought, man, I'd like to see them on camera, see how they actually work out. And so I invited a bunch of them, and most everybody who was invited responded. There were a couple who I invited to audition who had originally said, yes, I want to be part of this project, but when I invited them to the audition, either didn't hear back from them right away or didn't hear back from them very quickly. In a couple of cases, one lady contacted us and wanted to be part of the project, and she really has the look that we're after, but her interest is obviously waned because she's not going to be auditioning today. Now, I'm still hoping that she'll audition because she has the perfect look. There's another lady who responded, and then I didn't hear from her, and then finally responded again and was going to send me some additional material, and then never did it. Well, I invited her because she has a very unique look too that I'm after, but she's not going to audition today. We finally settled on, that was 12 actors that I wanted to audition. 2 of them, I can't seem to get through to them to get them to audition. We had 10 set up for today, and I'm really excited about those 10. I think they all show tremendous talent, and they have the look. And the only thing that needs to be determined is whether or not they can actually act, which is not an easy thing to determine, but it's really important because you don't want to go to a lot of effort producing something, finding out that a person can't act. That's why you do auditions. So getting it all set up today, a lot of back and forth emails and contact numbers, and getting script material together. What I've done is I took various sections of the book that I thought would end up in the trailer, and I scripted that whole chapter in all but one case. One case I didn't finish because it's a long chapter. But I sent them that script material, and then I said, be prepared to read from this script, and then also could you please memorize a couple pages, and then I would give them specific pages. And I know that's really hard to do, and we'll see today how well that works out. The reason I know it's hard is because in the process of doing all of this, I ran across a couple listings on the internet where people were looking for actors in Austin for some small projects that in two cases the actors fit my description. So I thought, well, I need to learn about this this end of the business, and so I applied, and to my surprise, both of them wanted me to audition, and so I did. I auditioned on both cases. In one case, I don't think my audition was very good. I really wasn't into the character, didn't really think I did a very good job, and they actually said, what I first did, I responded to them. They said, could you come in for an audition? I said, no, I can't. Can I send a video audition? This is in both cases. And they said, yeah, that'd be fine. And so I sent a video audition in both cases. And in one case, they wrote back and said the director loved the audition. And I thought, oh boy, that means I might have to do more. I mean, that was my thought. And in the other case, they liked the audition well enough to call me in. And I said, I still can't make it. And so they said, well, we don't want you to do that character. Can you do a different character? So I did another video audition for them. Based upon that audition, they cast me in the film. And I also had this thought of, oh gosh, now I've got to do this. I mean, that was literally my thought, because I didn't think that I would get selected to do anything. So then they said, well, we've got a rehearsal set up the day before the shooting. We've got a rehearsal set up such a time. And so I said, okay. And then they wrote another email and they said, okay, here's your time. And then they had the other actors listen different times. And I wrote back and I said, if this is rehearsal, why aren't we all there at the same time? And answer back as well, the director wants to do you one at a time. I thought that was a little strange, frankly. So anyway, I went to that audition, and went to that rehearsal, okay, and did my thing. I didn't think I did very well. The characters is a comedy character, and they laughed. You know, I had them laughing, and you know, they were saying I was great. And in the video audition I did for that, they even wrote back and said, well, the writer wants to use some of your ideas in the script. And I noticed that they incorporated some of my ideas in the script. Go figure, right? And they're welcome to it. You know, it's no big deal to me. So anyway, at this rehearsal, it was scheduled for 30 minutes. I took an hour. You know, I guess because I kept them going. I'm not sure why they devoted that amount of time. Well, so they told me what to wear the next day, and I said, where's the location? They said, well, we'll send you that call sheet tonight. Well, lo and behold, I'm on my way home, and I get a telephone call. And since the telephone call was on my answering machine, I will just simply include it here. Interesting thing about the telephone call is they fired me, which I thought was interesting. One of the co-directors said, "Well, we've decided to go a different direction," which I was relieved. I mean, I was actually relieved because I didn't think I did a very good audition. I didn't think I was right for the part. And as it turns out, the so-called rehearsal was really nothing but a final auditions. If it had been a rehearsal, we would have rehearsed, but no, it was auditions, so that was interesting.
Received May 26th at 8:05 p.m.
Hey, Doug. This is Leanne and Lucas, co-directors of Mall Temps, and we wanted to give you a holler and just let you know. I think we need to go a different direction with the Mondo character for this project. It wasn't anything that you did in auditions. We think you're a great actor and hilarious and a very interesting person to know. But I think given the 18-hour shoot tomorrow and everything, I think we need to go a different direction. So give us a call if you want to talk about it. Again, I'm really sorry, but I would love to work with you in the future, and appreciate your work on the character and all of that. So call us back, and my number is 832. And if not, then we'll keep in touch. Bye.
The other audition that I did, I went in, and the very first thing that happened is I was on time at the right place, but they weren't. And so I was asking around, do you know these people? And it was at a church, and the people did some checking, and they said, yeah, they're not going to be here. And I thought, well, that's just great. I drove all the way to Austin, and you're a no-show. Well, I tracked the phone number down and called this guy and got a phone number for another lady, and then I called and talked to her, and she said, oh, I'm terribly sorry. We moved the audition from 9:30 to 10:30 and to a different location. Well, they didn't tell me, and I don't know what that means exactly. So I went to the other location, and I was the first one to arrive there. They were all late. There were 4 of those that were late. By the way, in the other audition that I did, so-called rehearsal, there were 3 people there. So anyway, this audition where I came in early, they finally got there and we talked. I did my audition, and they liked it. They liked what I was doing. I also felt that I was not very well prepared. I had some lines to learn, and I had learned part of them, but I didn't know them all. And when we went through the script, I missed my cues, so I felt I didn't do a very good job. Well, they thanked me, and that was that. And then I got an email saying they wanted to do a callback, and could I do it on such and such a day? And I wrote back and I said, no, I'm busy. I've got this audition of my own that I'm preparing, audition session, whatever you call it. And no, I can't make it. And so I haven't heard back from them since. Now that project is kind of intriguing. I kind of like the story, and I kind of like the character. I don't need the work, but it was interesting getting to do that. And one of the reasons I did that auditioning business is so that I could learn what it was like from that side of the camera. And so I wrote to the people that are planning to audition for me. I wrote 10 tips, 10 things. I told them this story, and I said, here's 10 things that I learned. And I'll go over that now just as a instructive thing to people, actors who seek to audition. Tip number one is learn your lines as completely as possible. I didn't do that, and it was a problem. I felt unprepared, and so I didn't feel that I did my best work. And so my advice to people that are auditioning is you work like the dickens and you learn those lines completely. It's just really important. Tip number two, if at all possible, get someone to read the lines with you so that they can play the other role and so that you know exactly when to come in. I had that trouble. The lines that I learned, I didn't have anybody to play across from, and so when I did the audition, I don't think I did a very good job. I felt, I felt as if some work with timing would have made a huge difference. Tip number three, if the director will let you move around during the performance, then do so. Do something with your hands, do something with your body. Deliver your lines rather than read them. Even if they allow you to hold a script, act that role. I did that at at both auditions. At first, they just wanted me to read, and I did. But then, when I was able to get up and move around and act, it made a huge difference in my performance, in the way I delivered. So I think that's really important. Tip number four, highlight your lines in the script and highlight in a different color the keyword in the other actor's previous line that tells you to get ready to say your line. That's kind of a memory device, keywords. Now I use the pictograms, the memory technique that I invented in order to learn scripts, but it takes time to do that. And if you're just reading from a script for a reading, you may not have time to do that, and so consequently highlighting that keyword is a way that helps you get your timing quickly. Tip number five, learn your character, study your character, find out who he is, and do this by reading the script. I mean, one of the problems is they don't send you a full script. They only send you a few pages, and so it's difficult to know what's going on in the story. Chances are you don't even know the story. You don't know much about the character. This is the reason when I set up the folks to audition for me, I sent them a whole chapter. That way, even though I'm only asking them to do a small portion of it, they have the ability to read it all and understand where that character's coming from. I think that's really important. Tip number six, find out what wardrobe the character will be wearing and try to wear it. Obviously your closet doesn't have everything that's ever been called for, but if you can hit Salvation Army or Goodwill and go find some threads that are going to help enhance the role, then do that. It's going to put you into the mindset, and that's going to be better than just wearing street clothes. So I advise the people that are auditioning for me today, I gave them some ideas on wardrobe and said, hey, if you've got it, wear it. Tip number 7, introductions should include the names of everyone present and some information as to why they were there. I found the 2 auditions that I did, there were handshakes and first names, but I had no idea really who they were, and in some cases they would say, well, he's the director or whatnot, but in one case it wasn't clear, and so you don't know who you're talking to. You don't know if they're directors or writers, director of photography, set designer, costume people. You don't know who you're talking to, and I think it's important. You're trying to build a creative team. I think it's important that you, right off the bat, get to know who you're talking about or who you're talking to, because if this works out, I mean, it's like being hired for a job. You're going to work with these people, and from the position of the actor, that's important to know who you're dealing with, and from the point of view of the people conducting the audition, I think that's a matter of courtesy to let the actor know who you are. Tip number 8: think of the audition as a job interview. That's what it is. Have your material, your headshot, your resume printed out, any other material that you want to give to the people, quote, doing the interview. And talk about some of that stuff before you get started with the audition. Spend a couple minutes talking about your experience and goals and that sort of stuff. This is a job interview, and if it works out, great. You know, you'll develop contacts that could lead to other roles, other projects, other jobs. I think it's real important to treat each and every audition in that manner. It's a job interview. Tip number 9, just so simple: be on time. In my case, I was early for both the auditions, and you know the old adage that if you're not 5 minutes early, then you're late. It's important to be on time. That says something about you, and when you're dealing in the movie business, you absolutely have to be on time, because there's a lot of people that are doing certain things, getting ready, and there's a lot of hurry up and wait. But don't make anybody wait on you. You know, that's just, to me, that's good courtesy and etiquette. And finally, tip number 10, I see every audition as an opportunity to learn more about the craft and to improve your skills. Auditions are not a waste of time. Even when you don't get selected for a project, it's important that you go and do auditions so that you get experience with auditions. It's just like getting experience with a job interview. The more experience you have doing that, the more jobs you're going to get. So those are things that I just came up with, having done 2 auditions from the point of view of the actor. And I think it was a valuable experience. I don't know if I'll do any others. I may not. I mean, I've got my own project to do, but I think it was instructive to do that. And if I do get this follow through on this callback from this other deal, and if they ask me to act, I'll do it. I'll do the job. Be happy to, because one of the things that I need more of is experience as an actor. When I tell people that I want to play a character out of the Look For Me series, they kind of raise eyebrows and they say, why would you want to do that? You know, because I don't have this giant resume of acting experience. Although I've got to tell you that I've been acting for many years in many different ways, some in front of the camera and some not in front of the camera. As a writer, I'm acting everything. I'm acting all sides of the conversation. I'm acting the scenes. All of this I'm thinking up, and so to me it comes fairly easy to put myself into a character and become that character. Now, what I don't know about myself is, can I deliver the lines in such a way that it appears as though those lines are thought up for the first time? I think the answer is yes, but I haven't had enough long-term experience with somebody else directing me to know if I'm going to be successful at that. Basically, most of the projects I've been involved with, I haven't had any help. I've been the director. I've had camera people and I've had some crew people, but I've always directed myself. And I did have one film director look at something that I did, and he said, "Man, you're a pretty good actor. All you need is some direction." Which I thought, that's interesting. And that's coming from a guy who I've looked at his stuff, and I think his stuff is fabulous. He knows what he's talking about. So anyway, I'm about to rendezvous with one of my producers. We're going to head on up. I'm about to make it to San Marcos. We're going to head on up to Austin and do this audition. So there will be additional blogs about it later on.